We are Ben and MP, and we've been rebuilding a rotten sailboat pretty much from the ground up. In this episode, we are changing our interior project by building louvered panels with, guess what? No specific tools for that. Join us today as our carpenters improvise and work their magic once again, and we get one step closer to finally living on the ocean.
Now that most of our furniture, we know exactly what we want, where we want, and lots of our furniture is kind of already decided and in place. We know what fronts of the furniture we want open and closed. This is going to be closed, however we want it to breathe, as it's going to have batteries, inverter, charger, and a bunch of other stuff here. We also want everything that's connected to the hull to be breathable, which is why we're going to go for the shutter system here, which I think that's what it's called. It's where you have lots of little slats pointing downwards so everything can breathe, but you can't see in, and also maybe some noise reduction. We haven't got the 100% correct tools for it as usual, but we can do the best with what we have and see what we can make out of this. What we've just done is we have cut a lot of these little battens that have an angle. I'll turn around so you can see better. Lots and lots of these. Now this was the easy part because they're all the same. However, now we're going to have to make the side parts, which are going to have little indentations, I don't know what they're called, that these slot into. So that's going to have to be measured first, and hopefully we can do it in a uniform way so they're all identical without having to move too much around. Otherwise we'll just have to do each individual one manually. A lot of cool things are happening in the shipyard, the boat moving around, of course the stuff in our boat happening. But this boat over here is about to receive its bowsprit. The cat head was just placed over there, which is a quite heavy job, but the bowsprit's probably, well, a lot longer than that. I would say about 20 feet. I'm not very good at feet. Anyway, they're actually lifting it right now. Clayton's up there. They've got a whole setup. I don't know how they're going to do this, but of course they're doing it with ropes and a little crane, and the rest just goes by itself.
ばんポキンプレティム。
Posso, né? Vai.
Vai.
Aí, né? Ô,
Não, só tira.
pra frente, pra frente. Então. Aí. Cuidado pra trás agora, hein?
Aí.
Aí.
That's just been put in place for now. You've seen that Nozo's busy sanding his way through it so that it can later fit. Soon, we're all going to be called from our boat to head over there and help them for something that will be quite interesting and cool, I think. But first, let's see how everything's going here. Look at that mess. But then again, we do have a workshop on the boat, which is pretty cool. Boat next to us is busy lifting up the bowsprit so they can install their bowsprit, which I hope I can show you guys because our bowsprit is one of the few things that is left on this boat. So we unfortunately, or very fortunately, can't show you how a bowsprit is lifted and installed onto a boat. So let's see if I can show you guys what it looks like to get a huge bowsprit on a wooden ship. I hope you're understanding the progress of how this louvered front of the cupboards is being made. We're showing you piece by piece how it's done. However, we're kind of coming up with everything on the spot, especially Agilson has a huge understanding of how things are made just by thinking of an idea. I can't tell you how happy we are to have this table saw. We use the miter saw loads to cut all the battens and stuff to make the furniture. However, you can see that we can really do so much with just a simple table saw.
Even on big boats, sometimes the working angles are very, very inconvenient. I'm stopping because Ben said he filmed enough of this already.
The work on the louvers is still continuing. However, I want to show you guys a bit about this boat. This is a boat that's going to go into the water today. She's called Fortuna, and I actually recently posted a little short of the name being painted by hand without pencil, which was pretty impressive. So go and have a look at that if you haven't seen it. The reason I want to show you this is because there have been loads of fishing boats coming up and down in this shipyard, a lot of them passing as well. And these boats are not like schooners or sailing boats. So I thought it might be very nice for you guys to see inside one of these, inside the engine room, and just understand how fishing here in Brazil works. So I'm here with Marcus and Antonio. I'm not going to interrupt them too much because in about less than an hour this boat is going to splash. So he's busy doing the final paint touch-ups before heading into the water. What these guys do is they go out for 10 days at a time, they come back, they unload the boat, and then they go out for 10 days again. This boat specifically works around the region of Santos in Sao Paulo, in the province of Sao Paulo. They do that 10 days trips for about 2 months, and they come home to rest a bit, and then they go out again. This boat, by the way, is a shrimp fishing boat, not like the one in Forrest Gump, slightly smaller. I just told him about if he knows Forrest Gump, and he said, yes I do, unfortunately I don't catch as much as Forrest Gump. But they go out in 10 days, they catch about 3 to 3.5 tons of shrimp, come back, unload it, and bring it out again. Let's go inside and have a look.
Zeca já tá famoso.
Ah, o Zeca tá. O Zeca só quer ficar famoso. Só o Zeca quer ficar famoso.
There is so much to show you on this boat that I don't know where to start. But I've just been asking a bit of questions, and these over here, there's two kind of pallet looking steel things. They're called portas, which are the doors which go on the end of the big arms that swing down the side, and these are what open up the net and help catch all that shrimp. There's one of these on each side, which is a, I don't know how many meters, 6 meter long pole, I'll have to be sure, that swings out and drags the net on each side along the sandy bottom of the sea in Santos, catching loads of shrimp. This over here is what lifts the nets in when they're nice and heavy. It's a hydraulic system which is connected with a pulley and onto the engine. So the engine running helps pull in this hydraulically. Nothing much to say about that. I guess you just can't pull in nets with your hand when you've got about 3.5 tons per 10 days. This is what that does. Right in front of these is the fridge. Now the fridge is, I'm not going to open it because there's lots of tools and they're still working, rushing to get their boat in the water soon. The fridge, I know, is double walled with styrofoam in the middle of those two walls to keep it nice and cool. The boat doesn't leave with any ballast. It leaves with diesel and ice, and it comes back with fish as its ballast. Sorry, in this case, shrimp. The freezer holds, to start with, 4 tons of ice. Add on top of that the 3.5 tons of shrimp. Take away maybe 2 tons of ice, so that would be about 5.5 tons of products in there. But we're gonna go inside now, and the beautiful works that have been done in the shipyard by Clayton, who you know from over the boat there, and of course this guy himself, Zeka. So we're gonna have a look inside and see what their work's been. Welcome to the interior of Fortuna. Here on the port side, when you come in, you can see a triple bunk. It used to be a double bunk. What's been done during these works is this bunk used to be a lot higher, that bunk used to be a lot lower, and they've brought one to the floor and lowered this one down a bit to make a triple bunk, if that made sense. So this is all new. Also, the whole pilot house has been redone. You can see it's all new plywood. There's been fiberglass on the outside. Yes, the boat's going into the water today, but a lot of this interior painting and stuff is going to be finished, varnishing and whatever they have to do still, just so they can get the boat ready. Just after you come in, on your right, you've got a little oven, sink, stove. It's all very, very, very dusty right now. On top of that, you've got a couple of cupboards, just a bit of storage. To the starboard, to right of that, a lot more storage. And of course, the second you come in, you can see there's a little fridge down here. No beers yet. And this is where the steering wheel goes. I just heard that on one trip, which is the 10 days, he takes out 1,000 liters of water, fresh water, and 1,800 liters of diesel, which lasts 18 days. So it's a 10-day job with 8 days of margin that you've got around that. So all this is new. New plywood here, and new port light here. Very nice bronze one. This is all new plywood, all new plywood, all new plywood down here. New plywood all the way around. New beds. Here's a nice little steering wheel. And esse é novo também, o teto? This is also all new, so practically all done, nice and fresh for the next season of fishing. Last thing before we go back to work on Yabá, this is the enormous propeller. Hydraulic steering, big, enormous bronze propeller. Vou morar no mar. Uma dica mais importante para mim.
Morar no mar? Ai, ai.
Morar num barco. Dica.
Uma dica. Barco. Paciência, né?
Paciência?
Paciência.
Paciência.
Muita paciência. Bastante paciência.
We're really happy to have these louvered fronts ready put in place. It's funny because when we started working on the boat, it's just a list of stuff like hull, furniture, ballast, electrics, plumbing. But when you start working on just furniture, it's like, okay, just furniture goes into the seating area of the saloon. Okay, cool, just that. And then that goes into louvers, edges, the top, the hatches, and so on. So it's really funny how one item of a list becomes so many. Like this louver work was so fun, and I'm so happy, thanks to Jilson, that we were able to make it look so nice with what we have. I don't know if we mentioned in the episode even, but it was practically all just scrap wood. We found a nice piece of wood that came off a fishing boat's hull, stuck it through the planer, cut it into slices or battens, and glued it all together. It's really cool how we didn't really have anything planned for the fronts of the furniture, and on the spot almost, we just decided to put these louvers in. Said, but we can't do it. Let's figure it out. And there's so many things that you're going to see on this boat that are like this. For example, next episode, we want to be able to divide the stove or the cooking area with the stairs. And we've got a really cool idea for this that we're going to show you very, very soon, or even in next week's episode. So stay tuned to see what this idea is, because I can guarantee you it's going to be cool, and it's going to be recycled and cool. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay in touch and don't miss any videos.
Thank you so much, Christoph, for joining us on Patreon, and Brenda for donating through PayPal. Also, thank you so much for the super thanks from Daniel, Jens, Joseph, Wiley, Duane, Robert, John, and Greg. You guys are legends. Thank you so much. See you all next Sunday. Bye!